Namaste and very hearty welcome to all of you to this Freedom Movement show. Today's topic is freedom from criticism. This is a very interesting topic. This request had come to us long back. It was a pending topic, so we have decided to take this topic. We'll go into the great details. So all your questions which have already come on the Google form will answer, and those of you who are watching it live on YouTube, if you have any question, please punch it in and post it in the live YouTube chat. I'll answer all those questions at the end of the program. So stay tuned, stay with us till the end, and I'll answer all your questions. So first few minutes, let's prepare the background so that the questions become relevant for the topic. Criticism is one thing where some people are extremely sensitive to it and they get affected badly because of criticism. They get damaged because of criticism. I have counseled hundreds of people who were damaged, especially children, who were damaged because of criticism. And 90% of people in general do not know how to manage criticism, how to handle criticism, and they get affected very badly. So we are going to learn all those things in a very proper perspective, proper manner, and at the end of the program you will not just learn how to handle criticism, but I will also share how to thrive on criticism. More criticism, better it is. You start thriving on criticism, you draw energy from criticism. It's a very positive approach to criticism. But before I share that ultimate miracle, the secret of how to thrive on criticism, let us understand few basic things about criticism. You see, there are two types of criticism. One is called constructive criticism, another is called destructive criticism. Now, the person who is criticizing you, whether it is constructive or destructive, how do you know? So first of all, there are few criteria which you should know, and then only you can decide. So first is, who is criticizing you? Is he your boss? Is he or she your loved one, your parents, your spouse, your friends, your well-wishers, or are they your competitors, your enemies, people who want to pull your legs, people who want to put you down? Who is criticizing? So first, that's very important. Criticism is coming from whom? That's a very important thing. What kind of person he or she is? Is he a habitual critic? Is he just having a habit and has no business other than criticizing? There are many such people, you know. Criticism is their business, criticism is their nature, and they can't avoid criticizing. So first of all, who is critic? Second thing, how is the criticism delivered? Is it public criticism? Is it open in the chat? You see, this is like an international group right now. If somebody is criticizing in the chat and everybody is reading it, then this is called public criticism in the modern world. Or if you are in a group and suppose your boss comes and criticizes you if in front of your colleagues, then this will be considered as your public criticism. Boss also has a choice. He can invite you, call you for the meeting personally in the cabin and tell you what is it. So boss can give a private criticism or boss can give you public criticism in front of the colleague. So how is it been given? That is the second criteria. Third criteria, what is the intention of critic? Is it for your improvement? Is somebody trying to help you? Or is it just habitual or want to put you down? Want to show one's own superiority? Okay. So that is the third criteria. What is the intention behind the criticism? Some people have that one-upmanship game, you know. Anything that somebody says, compulsive criticism, so that I can show myself I'm a one step above you. So that compulsive criticism is like a destructive criticism, because that person is suffering from the inferiority complex, and that's why they have that one-upmanship game. So, okay, let's go into these criteria, three details. Who is giving the criticism? So, first of all, understand that there are loved ones, there are well-wishers, parents, bosses, okay, your senior colleagues can give criticism. And if they are your well-wishers, they are your friends, then most of the time that criticism is to help you, not to harm you. So you must recognize that there are good people, there are well-wishers who criticize you because they do not know how to give you the proper feedback. They get into the mode of criticism, which is basically love for you. You know, when somebody criticizing you is actually showing the love for you. But because they don't know that criticism is not the way to show love, but they fall into that pit, and millions of people on the planet Earth, they do this mistake because they have not learned simple communication techniques. And it's a problem because most of the people have not learned proper communication. So even in the name of love, that you should not be damaged, you should not be troubled, so parents can criticize you, and that kind of criticism can be extremely demotivating. Let me give you an example. Say a young man just out from college, bubbling with enthusiasm, uh, he is planning to start his business. Now his parents know that this fellow is highly enthusiastic, but just out from college, he knows nothing. Whatever he does investment in the business, he will lose, because parents have the idea how he has grown up, what are his capacity and all. So parents can make a statement like, no, no, you are not going business. You first do job, you learn how to do, and then you start the business. Now this is purely out of love, care, and concern for the young boy, that you may fail miserably because we know your capacities. But the child, the son, may take it as a negative criticism. It can be damaging to reduce his enthusiasm. He feels nervous. At times people get depressed because of criticism. He will lose enthusiasm. He may become negative. He may turn life negative approach also because of such things. Now, these are the things which keep on happening on a daily basis all around us. There is so much of criticism, and it's so very damaging to so many people, because criticism reduces the enthusiasm. That is number one effect of criticism. Criticism reduces PVF, personal energetic vibrational frequency. Criticism in any form, this is scientifically proven. Criticism in any form reduces personal energetic vibrational frequency, PVF, which is a scientific term, measurable, quantifiable. Suppose a person X is criticizing person Y with whom you are not even concerned. But if you are listening to that sentence where you are not even concerned, you don't even know who is that Y. Or general criticism about environment, general criticism of politics, general criticism of the government. Even listening to such kind of criticism is reducing your PVF. So, now those of you who are learning should be extremely careful, because we are all spiritual seekers. We want to make this lifetime the last lifetime. So we want to continuously increase our PVF so that we can operate from the higher dimensions. We can get into the mystical dimensions. We can operate from very, very high levels of awareness, and continuously increasing that kind of awareness needs higher levels of PVF. So even if somebody is using the language of criticism where you are not concerned, you are not been criticized, somebody else been criticized, even listening to that language can reduce your PVF. That's why this subject is to be discussed, because all the spiritual seekers, you must learn how to continuously increase your awareness, how to continuously increase your PVF, and how to get into that mystical dimensions, enlightened consciousness, liberated consciousness, so that you can complete your spiritual journey on the planet Earth and make this lifetime the last lifetime. You see, you may be extremely high on your enthusiasm, motivation, and PVF. One sentence of habitual criticism with no much concern, okay, just a casual habitual criticism, and people who are casual habitually criticizing others, they are absolutely unconscious about their habit of criticism. Let me tell you, I have counseled more than 2000 such people. They are recorded in my records. I just checked up. More than 2000 people I have counseled on aspect of criticism. So many people get troubled. They don't know how to handle criticism. And there are people who are habitual critics. They have to say something to criticize, otherwise they will not digest that food. That kind of habitual criticism, criticizing people are also there. And if such people are around you, you can never grow in PVF, because every sentence is like puncturing you and reducing your PVF. So you may struggle hard, do a lot of sadhana to increase your PVF. One sentence of criticism, zoom, your PVF comes down. So, my dear friend, I want to make you aware of certain things. All the spiritual seekers, let me talk about law of karma. Criticism is highly damaging as far as karma is concerned, because if you are reducing the PVF of a spiritual seeker, do you know how much sadhana is required to increase your PVF? Now, if you are criticizing and reducing the PVF of the person, all that negative karma will damage you, affect you very, very badly and multifold. Let me explain you law of karma. You see, law of karma is not linear. It's not directly proportional to your karma. It is with whom you are doing. Suppose your PVF level is say X, and you are dealing with a person who is 100x high on your PVF scale. If you are making a critical statement about a high PVF person, like my master Sri Dada Gavan was extremely high PVF person. Now, if somebody who is an average person is criticizing a person who is 100 times more PVF, okay, then effect of that, negative effect of that karma will be 100-fold more on you. It will kill you literally. So which means what? A person who is criticizing a high PVF person is inviting extremely bad karma, is literally self-sabotaging oneself. But you see, for some people, criticism is a very big blind spot, and they don't know, they are unconsciously doing it. And they damage themselves in an extremely bad manner without them knowing that they are damaging. I was doing research on law, PREM MARG. Babaji gave me the order, the command on 13th of December 2016. Ever since then, very seriously, I had been putting 1 or 2 hours on a daily basis for the research. Very privately, very secretly. I was not supposed to talk on all these things because 1000 days of secrecy was promised by me. Now I can release because those 1000 days are over. I want to tell you a very, very serious part of my research on PREM MARG. You see, my research for last almost 1200, 1300 days, every day I'm counting, was why is it that people are not able to experience love? That was the first question of research. Why is it that people are not able to give love? That was another part of research. And why in general our society is lacking in verbally expressing love. All of you understood? This was a very serious research I took up in absolute secrecy and privacy in 2016 December. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, almost 4.5 years, 4 years, 9 months are over now. Okay, so we'll be completing this December. We'll be completing 5 years of research on PREM MARG. This is absolutely precisely guided by Mahavatar Babaji. So my gratitude to Babaji for giving me this mission. And now onward, I'll be giving you lots of secrets of PREM MARG. Very first fantastic research work and insight. Criticism is given by a person unconsciously and is experienced by a person because of the voice tone or because of the body language. Okay, one bad gesture and entire communication becomes critical, and that bad gesture of a person is habitual and unconscious. So my dear friends, all the karmas are built in unconscious behavior. Now person says, I did not do it intentionally, I had no idea of damaging, I never wanted to criticize. That is how the karmas are built. Because you are unconscious, because your voice tone is critical, because your body language is critical, and it is your duty to learn communication techniques. Otherwise the law of karma is working you in a very bad manner, and if you are dealing with high PVF people, then 1,000 times more damage can occur to you. So let's come back to the nut bolt level practical solution. What is it that we need to do? We need to choose the words that we use in communication in a very proper manner. Second, more important than words, how we deliver our sentences, our talk, our communication is far more important, which means the voice quality, the voice tone is far more important than the words. Even more important than the voice tone is the body language. What posture, what gestures, what facial expressions we are using while communicating, and that gives a maximum effect to your communication. So if your postures, your gestures, your facial expressions look critical, then whatever you are communicating will be seen as a criticism by the recipient of the communication. There was a research done long back by a scientist, by a professor in a university, which is mentioned in a book called The Silent Messages, authored by Mehrabian. It is a very wonderful research, often quoted by all communication experts because that was one of the landmark research, which says the percentage of effect that you get in communication is only 7% with the types of words that you are using. 38% is the effect of your voice tone, your voice quality, how it is delivered, how you are delivering the words. That voice tone, the voice quality has 38% effect, and 55% effect is the effect of the body language in communication. So one small annoying gesture or posture or a facial expression can put off the other person very badly, and your entire communication can be perceived as a bad criticism by the person who is receiving your communication just because of a small body language, posture, gesture, facial expression, because 55% is the importance of body language in communication. Now this is the Mehrabian's research. My own research is different. Let me tell you my own research, modern communication system, because my research with more than 3,000 people shows that effect of words 7% perfectly fine. Effect of voice tone is 18% according to my research work. Effect of body language is 25% according to my model, research model, because I have 4 criteria, Mehrabian has 3 criteria, so the percentage will change. And The fourth criteria, which Mehrabian did not include, he was not even aware of that. My criteria, fourth criteria was energy of the person, because when we are communicating, we are sharing our energy with the people. So 50% is the importance of energy in communication. Okay, so 50%, people can be smart, they can use very flowery language, they can manipulate their voice tone and be very sweet in talking. People who are little aware and trained in body language, they can use the body language to impress you. Many salespeople are trained in that. But you see, you cannot fake your energy. Okay. Not your communication, but your vibes. Your vibes are felt by the people. Your energy is felt by people in communication, and you cannot fake that. So your vibe decides your tribe. That's a sentence. What kind of people you attract is decided by your vibes, your vibrations, and vibrations cannot be faked. So effect of your energy field is very, very high in communication, which is unknown to the world. And I developed this new subject called energy communication. You see, when the Shaktipat is being done, extraordinary results are felt, because Shaktipat is actually energy communication. So we are all communicating with the energy. You see, my master used to behave in a very critical manner. He was popular for that. But if you experience his energy, so much of love was felt. He was using criticism to throw away unwanted people. So normal people who don't understand, with little bit of one or two sentences of criticism, will run away. And he did not want to gather the crowd. He wanted to select the people and work on those people only who are higher on understanding, higher on awareness, people who can understand his energy, people who can understand his love. Only those selected people he wanted to entertain. So criticism is a very simple tool to make people run away. But that was for the master. Average person who is habitually criticizing people actually makes people run away. And let me share one of my biggest research on love, PREM MARG, because it's very, very important that we understand the secrets properly. Okay, ample proof I have now. You see, my research work, because of this Babaji's order on PREM MARG, if I have to promote PREM MARG in the world, I must have sufficient research on all these things and help you understand how the things work. My dear friend, listen very carefully. I am sharing some of the deepest insights of PREM MARG as it was given to me by Mahavatar Babaji, but I had to do my research to make you understand. So I am going to share my research data. Listen very carefully. Why we have chosen this topic of freedom from criticism? People who are habitually criticizing will never be able to experience love in their lifetime. Not only one lifetime. Results of criticism will continue for next many, many lifetimes. That is the reason one should become aware of one's own criticism and never, never, never unconsciously also criticize anybody. Because in the spiritual circles, if you are a spiritual seeker, you must always increase the PVF of the people. You must always help people to increase their awareness. You must always help people to grow, to walk the path of enlightenment and liberation. But you see, criticism is exactly opposite of that. It is the enemy of the spiritual growth. It is the enemy of the PVF. It is the enemy of your awareness. you can immediately come down from 700 or 800 PVF to below 100 PVF instantly, just with a one sentence of criticism or one sentence uttered in the bad voice tone or one small annoying gesture. And that can be extremely sacrilegious, because if that is happening to high PVF person, hundredfold, thousandfold bad karma you are building. I have one video on this karma and criticism. I'll post it again. It was posted many times, but now after this session, you should again see that video. You will understand how many times you get the karmic effect of your criticism. That is why, first of all, we all, the spiritual seekers, must learn how to communicate without criticism. And if you are making a point, not criticizing, then always include in your communication that I do not want to criticize anybody, but I want to tell you the fact as it is. Now you are making people aware, so it will not be taken as criticism, but it will be taken as a plain fact or truth. Most of the time fact, not truth. Truth is eternal, non-changeable. Most of the times we are sharing the facts, but while sharing the facts also, you do not want to criticize anybody. You see, now I shared a fact that my master used to use criticism as a tool to sort out the people. He did not want to spend his time on unwanted people, and unwanted people will run away, and that's fine. So that was his method. Now he was not building karma in doing so. That was his simple fact. Okay. So my dear friends, we can always say that I am stating the plain truth, but I have no intention of criticizing anybody, and that's okay. That's a, you want to show a point, you want to have an opinion or what is the effect of it, and that's perfectly fine. Okay. The biggest insight of my research of almost 5 years now is people who criticize will never get love in that relationship. All of you understood this thing? People who are critical will never be the recipient of love, because criticism is the enemy of love, opposite of love. So you see, Duryodhan was a very great critic of Lord Krishna, and Arjuna was a very great lover, friend, bhakta, dasa of Krishna. All sense, all possible way he loved Krishna, Arjuna. Duryodhan was a critical of Krishna. Now Krishna in our culture, in our avatars, is considered as a Purna Purushottama. Purushottama means God, Purna means complete. So consciousness of Krishna had evolved in 100% manner in all the dimensions of life. He was a very good student, he was a very good lover, he was a very good warrior, he was a very good husband who had 8 wives, and he was a very good human being. He was a very good politician. He had a very good Niti Shastra. Krishna Niti is a very, very powerful subject, Krishna Niti. Okay, like Vidur Niti, Chanakya Niti, we have Krishna Niti, absolutely powerful. And he was master at everything. Now that is what is called as Purna Purushottama. But you see, Duryodhana, being a critic of Krishna, Purna Purushottama, invited very bad karma. He lost the war when he had all possible mighty army, but he lost because of his own karma. So my dear friends, when we unconsciously criticize high PF people, the effect of karma is extremely high, 1,000 times more, and that person will never experience love. Krishna was all love, 100%. Gopis felt love. Why did Duryodhana did not feel love? It was not the fault of Krishna. It was the fault of Duryodhana, who continuously criticized Krishna. Even he tried to poison Krishna, in a way. But Krishna was very aware, so he did not fall into the trap. He wanted to invite Krishna for dinner at his place and poison that fellow and get rid of him. Krishna was aware he could do the mind reading, and he did not go to his place for the dinner. He went to Vidur. and he had his lunch or dinner, whatever, he had a meal with Vidur, and his wife, Vidur's wife, was absolutely amazing bhakta of Lord Krishna. Very lovingly she cooked, and it was like a fulfillment of a dream for Vidur and Vidur's wife that Krishna came and had meal with them. You see, one thing we want to learn from the research and the grace of Babaji, all the knowledge of Prem Marg has come from Babaji. Anybody who is a critical of a person will never experience love, and that's a very bad thing, my dear friends. That is the reason we must come out of criticism in every possible way, because we are closing the doors of love, not overall. You see, Duryodhana got lot of love from his younger brother Dusasana. So was it that Duryodhana was not capable of receiving love? No. He was quite popular. Karna, as a friend, was a great lover of capacities of Duryodhana. Dusasan loved his elder brother Duryodhan big way. So it is not that Duryodhan had no capacity to receive love. Understand, I am telling you only one thing. It's not general. You will not receive the love from the person to whom you are criticizing. You may receive love from somebody else, because criticism is closing the doors of love in a particular relationship to whom you are criticizing. That person may be a great lover, but you will not get love because you are closing the door of love by criticism. If you have understood this, okay, let me go into the gallery view. I want to see all of you. How many of you understood this point? Please raise your hand physically so that I know you are with me and you understood what I am telling you. Because this is a labor of love for 5 full years. Thank you very much. I'll go into the speaker mode again because otherwise it gets recorded. So very good. I'm very happy that all of you understood this point. You see, you may feel now let me go into the little more research and the grace of Mahavatar Babaji. Okay, this topic is not just about criticism, it's about Prem Marg. Why on the planet Earth people are not receiving love? Good people, spiritual seekers, great people, intelligent people, educated people, why are they not able to receive love? Answer is criticism. Even positive criticism, even constructive criticism, if given in a wrong manner, will block love. 100% sure. 5 years of research on this. 5 years. Very systematic. I can share my data with you. So, why people experience love or why people do not experience love? One of the answer, and this is not the complete research, I am just sharing my research only from the angle of freedom from criticism. Criticism is the one of the guaranteed factors which locks the door of love in a relationship if you are critical of that person. Now, let me tell you advanced level of research. If you want to get love of the person, you want to, it's your choice, right? First thing, stop criticizing because you are locking the door, so don't criticize. Now, how to receive the love of anybody? If you want to receive the love, okay, give love because it's a law of karma. Simple. Whatever you give will come back. Vidur gave a lot of love to Krishna. Love and respect. It's called reverence. Reverence came back to him. Krishna was very appreciative of Vidur. Okay. Vidur's wife, Krishna was very appreciative. Vidur was great because he was a learned person. But Vidur's wife was a very ordinary person, but she was a great bhakta. She loved Krishna with a lot of devotion, bhakti. So, Krishna had great appreciation for Vidur's wife also. You see, it's not about your talent, your education, your knowledge, your wisdom. It is all about how much love you have in your heart and how much that love is felt in your energy. 50% energy communication. All of you got it? So if you want to invite love in your life, what you should do? Be very careful whose love you want to invite, whom you want to attract, whomsoever you want to attract. Start verbally appreciating that person. Start sharing your love verbally, because words, voice, body language, energy, everything will go together. Start communicating in a loving manner, and you will suddenly turn the table, you will invite the love. Now, this is the fundamental research, because one common question had been coming to me in all the counseling sessions, especially with the ladies, is why am I deprived of love? Let me tell you, some of the rich and famous people have also asked me this question privately, and it's perfectly fine. I respect the privacy of the people, but I want to tell you, this is the question of the humanity. You will never feel happy and satisfied in your heart, in your life, in your love life, unless otherwise you are comfortable of giving love and receiving love. But you see, somebody is closing the door of love with criticism. Even Lord Krishna cannot help that person. All of you clear on that? Now I'll give you the further research work, because today I want to share my research. It's not about just criticism, it's about PREM MARG. Okay, it's from that angle that I'm talking. So my dear friends, if you are doing positive criticism, what is known as the constructive criticism, then how will you do that and not to lock the doors of love? Because this can be very bad thing. You see, in a close relationship with the loved ones, you may land up in trouble because you love somebody, so you want to help somebody, improve somebody by criticism. But the moment you do so, you are locking the door of love. You will never receive the love from that person. Even your children will run away from you. Do you know? If you are too critical of your children, today children are, younger generation is very rebellious. They will simply leave the home, they will be independent, they will run away from you, which means what? You will never be able to receive the love of your loved ones if you are critical. That's why we are talking on this subject. It's a very, very damaging thing. But you are loving, you want to improve that person. That's why you are critical. That's normally the logic of the person who is criticizing. You see, mother is too critical of a son because mother loves and cares for the son tremendously. That's why mother is critical. But because the son looks at mother as a critical person who is reducing the enthusiasm, PVF and all, the son will definitely run away from mother, and mother will be deprived of the love of the son. Now this is a absolutely common phenomenon. Millions of cases of this phenomenon you will observe around you. Maybe you are watching, you are understanding, you are becoming aware of that in your own life. If you are getting that insight, that's great. Why you are not able to receive love? Maybe because in the name of love and care and concern, you are critical of that person. Even in the name of love, care and concern, if you are critical, you are still locking the door of love. You will not get love from that person. It's a very serious matter, my dear friend. I'm sharing my research data. I was wondering, this should not be happening, but it is happening. Everywhere research shows that no matter positive or negative, criticism, my research shows, no matter positive or negative, criticism will guaranteedly lock the door of love. I'm talking of PREM MARG. I'm not just talking of criticism. I'm talking of PREM MARG. The research is why good people are not able to receive love when they are deserving for love. They are craving for love, but they are not getting. Why? Simply they are locking. It is their action. Law of karma is functioning. Because of our own action, we are locking the door of love, and that is the greatest outcome of my research of last 5 years. All right, let me share some of the more insights now. Criticism, we define two types: constructive criticism, destructive criticism. Constructive criticism is if given by a person in a private manner, in a loving manner, with the sandwich technique. You know what is the chutney sandwich technique it is known as. So you first appreciate the person that 98% of the project you have done well. I really appreciate for your capacity and ways of working and the hard work that you have put in. 98% is absolutely fine. Now comes the layer of chutney. You see, these couple of points need kind of an improvement. This is not even criticism. You are talking of areas of improvement. And there also almost 80% of the job is very well done. 20% of minor improvement is necessary, and these are the points on which you can improve. This is the layer of chutney, tikha chutney. After that, there is one more layer of butter, maska. You have done so far extremely well. I'm sure you are going to complete this project in a very proper manner, and you will be one of the candidates for the promotion. Now, this can be a tremendous motivation, and this communication will not fall under criticism which locks the door of love. My dear friend, this kind of positive critical communication or critical feedback given in a right manner will open the door of love. The fellow will fall in love with you. Oh my God, this person has so much of love and care and concern, and he communicated so nicely. He will thank you for drawing your attention to that, and he will complete his job properly, and he will thank you again, and he will be definitely a good friend, a lover, and respect you lifetime because you gave criticism in a very positive and loving manner, and that will increase the respect and love of that person for you. So we all must learn how to give, how to deliver positive constructive criticism in the right manner. All right, now there are two different types of criticism from different angle. We are changing the subject. One is criticism you receive from other people, what to do. Second is self-criticism. All those people who are introspective, who are walking the path of spirituality. I have seen people who are spiritual in nature, people who are growing. They are very good people, but at times, because of the introspection, they become too much of self-critical. Do you know what is self-critical? Even if you do a small mistake, you beat yourself up. That is like too much of a self-criticism. So one simple thing, don't beat yourself up if you make some mistakes. In your introspection, just take a note of it and don't repeat the same mistake again. That's it. You don't need to beat yourself up for criticism. So too much of self-criticism is not good. Why? Even self-criticism is reducing your PVF. That is why. You know what is the bad effect of self-criticism? Now come back to the research work. Criticism received from somebody else is like that person closing the door of your love. All of you clear on that? Now listen, the law is applicable to self-criticism. If you are criticizing yourself, you are locking the door of self-love. Unless you love yourself, how will you share your love with the people? How can you love others? My dear friend, we must learn to love ourselves first. Then only we can share our loves with others. But our self-criticism, knowingly, unknowingly, we are locking the doors of self-love. Now, which means you are damaging yourself beyond repair. So don't be that self-critical that you stop loving yourself. You fall down in your own eyes. Don't be that self-critical. Accept yourself with love and grace with all your faults. Of course, do introspection daily. Of course, improve yourself. Don't repeat the same mistake. All that you are doing is good. But what is not good is beat yourself up in the name of introspection and self-criticism, because you are locking the door of self-love, and that is the worst crime that you can commit against yourself. All of you very clear? So self-criticism is no good because it locks the door of self-love. So no self-criticism to that extent. Self-criticism in a positive manner, that yes, I did a mistake, I accept, and I will not repeat the same mistake again. To that extent, perfectly fine. Nothing more than that. All right. Now, one more thing, and then we'll handle the question after 5 minutes. One more thing. You see, how to thrive on criticism, how to derive energy from criticism. If you are a very much rooted in your heart, in your love, and somebody is criticizing, whether habitual or trying to pull yourself down or cutting your head to put you to the size and show his one-upmanship, all those things are part of the criticism and unconsciously done by the people. People who are criticizing, they don't know about it. So this session will also help people to become aware of all these things, that why you are doing, what is your motive of criticism. Okay, most of the time criticism is given publicly, or a negative criticism is to cut the person down into the size so that you can show yourself as a taller than the other. That is the fundamental of negative criticism. Now, even if you have people around you who are throwing lots of negative criticism stones or bricks like you, one of the way to thrive on the criticism is pick up all those stones, pick up all those bricks, and make a beautiful mansion. Okay, construct a beautiful mansion and stay inside that. That is called thriving of criticism, thriving on criticism. People who throw bricks of criticism at you, you should be smart enough to pick up those bricks and build a house. That is the way to look at the criticism in a positive manner. Now, this technique you should use to with those people, not the loved ones. Loved ones, you should make them aware, because they are locking the door of love, which you don't like, right? Nobody likes that. This technique that I told you is to be used with unknown people. You see, now I've got 500 videos on the YouTube. Some people will give thumbs up, some people will give thumbs down, some people put nasty comments on my videos, some people criticize very badly, because YouTube is like open to all, anybody can come and put the comments, and I don't even remove those comments. Let me tell you, all those comments you will find on my videos, and I want to keep it. I want people to know, however unselfish you may be, however extremely you may go out and help people, still some people will criticize you. Nobody is beyond criticism. Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the #1 most loved leader of the world. He is few notches higher than the leaders of Russia and leader of USA. He is the #1 most loved, most respected leader of the world, not only of India. But you see, within India, there is so much of criticism done by opposition on every point. Some of the best schemes he has brought. He has really done wonderful job for the country. But you see, there are people who criticize him. So no matter how good you are, you can never satisfy somebody, but use a technique that understanding nobody kicks the dead dog. Again, how to thrive on criticism. Operate from the paradigm that nobody kicks the dead dog, which means if you are inviting criticism, oh my God, you are kicking, you are ticking, and that's the reason you are inviting criticism, which is your strength, not the weakness. Which means for sure you are doing something right, because of which some people are getting trouble, and those people are criticizing you, which is the feedback that you are doing something right. Thrive on that, which means you are hitting hard at those people who deserve it, and you must derive energy out of it. So there is a technique called deriving energy from criticism. You are doing something right, you are kicking, you are ticking, and so nobody kicks a dead dog, and you are not a dead dog, you are ticking, you are alive, you are active, and so people are criticizing. Derive the energy from that kind of criticism and thrive on it. That is a fantastic way to look at it. Build your house with the bricks that people throw at you, the bricks of criticism. Okay, wonderful thing. So that is a basic background. I'll share lot more insights. Stay tuned. I'll answer all your questions. Let me see the chat box. Okay, so let me see from the beginning what all questions have come. Okay, first question is from Leela Subramani. Do we criticize because we have same trait in us? Yes, it is an unconscious pattern. You see, after listening to my talk on criticism, you understand what are the negative karmic effects, how bad karmas you take because of criticism, and how many times more. Okay, definitely, criticism is a self-sabotaging pattern. Do you see law of karma? It's going to reflect back on you. You are criticizing somebody means you are shooting at your own feet. हिंदी में बोलते हैं पैर पे कुल्हाड़ी मारना. In English we use the word you are shooting at your own feet, which is a self-sabotaging pattern. So if I am criticizing somebody, I am shooting at my own feet. That is how the law of karma is, and it reflects. So for sure it is a trait in us. It is a subconscious pattern in us, and that's why we criticize. And self reflects in others, because we have that in us, so somebody else is criticizing. Understand, this is a fantastic insight. Thank you, Leela madam, for asking this question. The world is our reflection. If we have certain trait, we will be criticized by others. Or if we have criticized in past somebody, those karmas are reflecting and we are receiving criticism. So our karma is like an echo. Whatever you throw out will come back. So for sure it is a trait. Okay, next question is from Mr. Kiran Sawant. Have we taken granted that criticism is part of life's journey? Whether you have taken it for granted or not, yes, it is. As I give you the example of great Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he is one of the best leader India has got so far. That's my opinion, personal opinion. It may be right, may not be right. But I know he is one of the best leader India has got. But you see how much of criticism he has to face day in, day out, every day. Somebody is criticizing. Yes, Savant, we have taken it as for granted that it is part of life. And yes, it is. So, Mahatma Gandhi, yesterday was the Gandhi Jayanti, 2nd October. You see, Mahatma Gandhi was a great leader. But within India, there are thousands of people who will criticize Mahatma Gandhi. So even Mahatma Gandhi could not satisfy everybody. No human being on the planet Earth can satisfy every other human being. Lord Krishna, Purna Purushottama, was also criticized badly many times by his opponents. So yes, it is part of life. Take it for granted and work for it. Learn how to face the criticism, how to derive the energy from criticism, how to thrive on criticism. If people throw the bricks of criticism at you, be smart to pick up those bricks and build a house for you. That is the wonderful way to look at it. Okay. The next question is from Brahmprakash Gaur. Fear of criticism or fear of being looked down upon is one of the major limitations holding us back from achieving our true potential. Yes, absolutely right. Most of the human beings feel that way. Often one is able to see this as a shadow masquerading as sensitivity. Yes, that is also true. Some people are sensitive to criticism. However, most of the time, mere intellectual understanding is not enough. That's also right. Are there some practical ways to cross the hurdle? Yes, there are practical ways. See, you see, being sensitive is good, but being sensitive of criticism is not good. You will damage yourself and lock the door of self-love, or you will bounce back and attack the person who is doing. So there also you will spoil the relationship, which is not good. Then what is the way out? The way out is learning to handle criticism, not just handling, but thriving on criticism, which means deriving the powerful energy from criticism. That is called thriving on criticism. That is absolutely the other dimension. You see, there are techniques. Great people, they use those techniques which are unknown to the world. It's called thriving on criticism. There's a nut bolt level program on that. I have conducted 2 full-day program on thriving on criticism. It's a 2 full-day, 16 hours training on how to thrive on criticism. So there are techniques. One of the technique is called learning from elephant. Another technique is learning from lion. I had a 1 full-day program on learning from lions. See, first let's learn from elephant. When the elephant is walking, it's called hathi chal. Elephant doesn't bother at all about the dogs who are barking. Elephant will walk in its own way, unaffected by the barking dogs. All of you know this is part of the fact in the jungle. So in Hindi it is said, hathi chal chalo. Don't bother about the dogs who are barking. You see, people who are critical or criticizing, they are nothing more than the dogs barking. And the elephant doesn't get affected by that. Right? Hathi chal chalo. That is the practical solution. Walk like an elephant in the life. Don't get affected by criticism. But it becomes philosophical. It becomes intellectual understanding. How do you practically do? Learning from lions. You see, what does a lion does? Lion focuses on increasing one's own capacity. Lion looks smaller, but lion can kill a big buffalo. Lion can kill giraffe. Lion can even kill elephant because lion has courage. Lion has got certain qualities, and lion doesn't get affected by the failures. Every time the lion fails, he bounces back and he'll anyway go for the prey again. Second time, third time, fourth time, and we'll go for the kill and get it. That is the power of lion. That's why lion is the king of the jungle. So what we can learn from lion? We can learn courage, systematic approach, learning from your past failures, strategic approach. Do you know lions kill with lot of strategy? You see, cheetah runs faster, so cheetah can kill the deer. But lion doesn't run that faster. Lion cannot kill the deer, but lion will still kill the deer. Why? Strategic approach. 2-3 lions will gang up and they will do the hunting in a group, and through the strategy they win over the fastest animals and they will eat away. Fastest, strongest, tallest, strongest, everything. Lion will kill anybody. That's why lion is the king of the jungle. So there are qualities of the lion. Those who imbibe the lion's quality of courage, strategy, fearlessness, those are the people who can thrive on criticism. So Brahm Prakash, my answer to your question is imbibe the qualities of lion. Now tell me, a lion-like person who is absolutely capable, how many people will dare to criticize lion on the face? Behind the back people will do. I think very few people will dare to criticize the lion on the face because lion will kill you. So if you become very capable, then probably you will not be able to avoid the criticism. Just one of the way to look at it, and that's not the only way to look at it. That's one of the way to look at it. Okay. So Narendra Modi is definitely a lion-like person. He has learned from lions. You see, he walks like a lion. You look at his body language. Absolutely, शेर की तरह चलता है बंदा. He walks like a lion. And in Hindi he says, गालियों का गहना बना दो. You know, that is the one of the way to learn criticism, how to handle criticism from our beloved Prime Minister Narendra Modi. गालियों का गहना बना दो. That is the term he uses, which means if somebody is abusing you, you make an ornament out of it. What a wonderful way to look at it. What Vivekananda said, that if somebody throws the bricks of criticism at you, you should be smart enough to pick up those bricks and build a house for you. Our beloved Prime Minister says, गालियों का गहना बना दो, which means pick up those abusive words that people are throwing you to. You know, somebody says, Chokidar Chor hai, you know, during the last election, and there was so much of drum beating of Chokidar Chor hai. But you see, that is what made Narendra Modi win the election. We all know. Major change happened because of his attitude of how he is handling the criticism. गालियों को गहना बना दो. What an amazing way. That's called thriving on criticism. Okay. So next question is from Lalita. Can there be two aspects to this? One being not to criticize others, and other not allowing yourself to be affected by criticism. How do we get out of both? Okay, the first aspect is not to criticize others. Yes, that is in very much in your control. Now that you have learned these things and understood the law of karma, PVF, and all those things, for sure, you see one great insight that criticism is locking the door in that particular relationship. Now you see, if you don't want to lock the door, for sure you will understand not to criticize. So you criticizing others is very easy to manage. You can change your patterns, you will never criticize others. But somebody else criticizing you and you are getting influenced by that, well, there you have to learn those techniques of elephant and lion and become powerful and learn to thrive on criticism. That is the way. So both things you can learn. Attitude of learning is fundamental. We cannot take anything for granted. Criticism is part of life, but we need to learn to handle it. It's a subject which need to be learned. Okay, next question is from Vatsala Subramani. Introspection leads to self-criticism, but at some point it becomes limiting and derails our inward journey. How to avoid this mental trap? Vatsala madam, I have already talked about it. Self-criticism. So don't beat yourself up. Don't be too much self-critical in the name of introspection. Be little more loving and compassionate toward yourself. Avoid the mistake of self-criticism too much because you are locking the door of self-love. If you understand that, you will not beat yourself up. You will be more loving, you will be more compassionate towards yourself, but you will correct your mistakes and grow very, very fast because you will be rooted in self-love. You are not against the self-love. Self-criticism goes against the self-love and you beat yourself up, and that's very bad. That will reduce your self-esteem. That is a trap. That is the trap one should avoid. All right. Next question is from Mandar Pradhan. How can we go into a mode of universal acceptance and become free from criticism completely? That happens when you get into the enlightened consciousness. You start vibrating at 700 plus frequency. That's why in the beginning only I told you your PVF, personal energetic vibrational frequency, plays a very, very big role. So, my dear friends, if you grow into that Buddha consciousness or Bodhisattva consciousness, that is the level where you are completely free from criticism. You see, one person came, Buddha was meditating under the tree. One person came, gave Sastang Namaskar to Buddha, fell at his feet, appreciated him, appreciated the compassion of the Buddha in a very big way, and went away. Buddha was unaffected with appreciation. Buddha was unaffected with appreciation. Another person came, talked very abusive language. He even spat on the face of Buddha. मतलब कि चेहरे पे थूका उसने. And Buddha was unaffected by that. Now that is the level of Buddhahood where you are unaffected by praise or criticism. That is absolutely, you are rooted in your own heart. You are rooted in your own being. You are rooted into oneness of universality because you know that person who is doing the same thing is also you. You see yourself in other and you see that oneness, and that is the level where you accept criticism absolutely comfortably well. Okay, there is a question from YouTube chat from Mr. Amit S. Fear, insecurity is the root cause of criticism. Not the only thing, but yes, most of the time when you are feeling insecure or you feel that your competitor is going ahead of you, so you want to cut him down to the size, and that is how you use the weapon of criticism. People are doing it subconsciously, unconsciously, all these things. Yes, the fear can be the root cause. The fear of opponent can be the root cause of your criticism. Fear of insecurity or any negative emotions for that matter can be the root cause of criticism. Why? You have developed a subconscious or unconscious pattern of criticism. Meditate on that. You will understand, is it out of fear? Is it out of insecurity? or is it purely habitual? Or is it that you want to cut the other person down to the size? Is it that you are afraid of, or is it your habit of one-upmanship? Why this habit pattern of criticism? So you need to meditate on that, and you will understand the root cause of it. There can be many, but yes, Amit, fear and insecurity can be the root cause. Arthur Wong is asking, can there be constructive criticism? Absolutely. I gave an example of boss inviting the subordinate inside the cabin using the chutney sandwich technique, helping to motivate the person to complete the job well. That is called constructive criticism, and that is what we all must learn to do to motivate our juniors, our subordinates, or anybody else. Okay, so question continues. How do we separate being self-critical versus self-introspection? I think that also I already answered. Self-love is the answer. Don't beat yourself up. Be more loving and compassionate towards yourself. In the name of introspection, don't beat yourself up. Be considerate, be loving, be caring. Yes, don't repeat the same mistake, but don't beat yourself up. Could we say that whatever comments that is well communicated without hurting emotions with good intentions are proper, and if not communicated to the person that we love are a kind of negligence of our duty to our loved ones for their personal growth? Absolutely right understanding, Arthur Wong. You see, it is my responsibility to learn to communicate well. If I love somebody, if I feel concerned for somebody, if I want my people to grow and I genuinely feel love and concern for them, then it is my duty to learn how to communicate properly, how to give proper feedback, how to motivate people with a constructive feedback, how not to reduce the enthusiasm of people, how not to lock the doors of love. All that becomes my responsibility. Okay. So naturally, I need to learn and grow. But suppose if I'm not learning and I'm suffering, then don't beat yourself up. Just wake up, start learning, changing, and you will see the great results very soon. In the name of self introspection, don't beat yourself up. Be more loving, more caring. Let me give you the big secret of Babaji. I'll tell you the secret today. Okay. Babaji told me to practice loving attention for 1000 days without talking about PREM MARG, without talking about those secret research. And I understood after almost 1100 days or 1200 days because I missed few days in between. And the reason for that is the effect of Maya on a human being is so very heavy, and habitual patterns are so very habitual, and the Maya takes over through habit, and you are completely unconscious when you get into the mode of criticism. Understand? It's a very, very powerful effect of Maya that reflects through the pattern of criticism. And under the effect of Maya, it is only your law of karma that is functioning. If in your destiny, you don't have the love of a particular person, like in the destiny of Duryodhana, there was no love from Krishna, even though Krishna was Purna Purushottama, he was all love for gopis. Why is it that Duryodhana could not experience love of Krishna? Not the fault of Krishna. It is the fault of the karma of Duryodhana, that he did such bad karma that he locked the door of love from Lord Krishna. And this is the greatest insight. Now I want to ask you a question. Are you feeling that you are deprived of love? Genuinely, honestly, please answer this question to yourself. Don't answer to me. In your heart of heart, please answer this question. Do you ever feel anytime that you are deprived of love? Not general question. Do you feel any time in the heart of your heart that you are deprived of love from a particular person? That is the precise question, not in general, from a particular person. If you feel that you deserve love from that person, but you are not getting it, I will request you with all your honesty, please look into it, that have you locked the door of love in that specific relationship because of your criticism? Find out. This is my 100% guaranteed research. I have done all possible ways and means of checking it. I can tell and give you 100% guarantee that it is we only who are locking the door of love with criticism. In the name of constructive criticism, in the name of love, in the name of care, in the name of improvement, in the name of spiritual advancement, we are making this mistake unconsciously, and that is the effect of Maya. And that effect of Maya can be so strong, it may not allow you to listen to what I am telling you with my 5 years of solid research. Your Maya can be so strong. Oh, you may say, Guruji doing time pass, he just has no business. So every Sunday morning he comes and talks and he shares his research. Yeah, so much of effect of Maya can be there that you may not even listen to the fantastic 5 years research which I am sharing. Yes, Maya can be so strong. It may not even allow you to listen to what I am telling you. That powerful is Maya. You see, Babaji gave this job because love is the solution. Understand? Love is the fantastic solution to improve any relationship on the planet Earth. But if you are locking the love with criticism, even Lord Krishna cannot help you. That is the biggest research. Okay. All right. How to handle, okay, next question is from Radha Perapadan. How to handle situations when loving communication is unheard or we are taken for granted? Yes, there's a solution to that. In the name of love, what you consider as loving communication, in the name of love, you consider yourself as communicating lovingly, may be considered as nagging and annoyance by other people because you do not know your subconscious pattern, that your voice is bad, that your body language is bad, that you have never focused on your own communication, and that may be the cause of it. You see, in the garb of love, in the garb of improving others, people forget to work on themselves. Simple thing like learning to communicate in a proper manner is a thing, is a skill which is missing in a very big way. And let me tell you another great insight. Many parents especially, they get into that trap. You see, I have seen Indian mothers, they are so much after their children and their husband. They want to improve their husband, they want to improve their children, and 100% 24 hours they are nagging either to husband or to children or whosoever is around, and they completely forget that they need to work on themselves, their own communication skill, love themselves, work on themselves, learn for themselves, for improving their own things. They never do. जैसे हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना कि कुछ लोगों ने, स्पेशली पेरेंट्स ने, ठेका लेके रखा है कि सबको सुधारने का, खुद को छोड़ के. नाउ दैट इज द वेरी वेरी वर्स्ट एटीट्यूड. सो रादर नॉट फॉर यू बट इन जनरल आई एम टेलिंग यू दैट किसी को भी सुधारने का ठेका नहीं लेना है, खुद को सुधारना है. ओके, you are not responsible for improving everybody. That is a very bad attitude. You are responsible for improving yourself. Okay, so if anybody who learns the art of communication, art of giving constructive criticism in a proper manner, and if you learn all that, then you will not be taken for granted by loved one. I can guarantee you that. Under the garb of love, probably you are avoiding working on yourself, or there are many ladies who are nagging to their children, to the husband, and they think that they are expressing love. Now, nobody ever receives love through nagging. Understand that. It's basically a communication error. Maybe we have love in our heart, but it becomes nagging if communicated in a certain manner, and nobody likes it. Even children run away. Parents feel absolutely lonely. They don't understand that they have not learned to communicate properly. You can't take your communication for granted even with your loved ones. Okay. There is a next question. Does criticism arise or is it taken as a criticism out of our colored perception? Criticism uh, purely is the outcome of karma. Why? You see, even if it is because of the colored perception, that colored perception is based on the karma. So, law of karma is all the time working. So, if you have done bad karma, it is that karma that is creating the colored perception in somebody's mind, and that karma is reflecting to you, because that is how the Maya functions. The Maya is functioning by distorting the perception, but it is the law of karma which is 100% truth. Let me tell you a very great insight. Even if the Lord comes, Bhagwan comes, God comes in the human body, the moment you are in the human body, even if you are a God, Rama came in the human body, Krishna came in the human body, Buddha came in the human body, Jesus came in the human body. Even if the God comes in the human body, law of karma is applicable, you will be criticized. Even Jesus was criticized. He was all love, but he was criticized. Now, do you want to say that people have colored perception for Jesus? He was such a loving guy. Why was he hanged on the cross? Why was he crucified when he was all for the love, all for the growth of people, only positive intention? Jesus had no negative intention. But you see, people around him, his own disciples, so much of misunderstanding in the life of Jesus, and he was crucified for no mistake. Why this colored perception? Well, this is karma, my dear friend, and nobody can avoid the effect of karma. Even God cannot avoid the effect of karma. So, it's never too late. Just wake up. By criticizing, we are building the bad karma, and that bad karma creates the colored perception in somebody else's mind, and that's how the karma reflects. That is the effect of Maya. What should I do to come out of it? Very simple. Even in the name of love, even in the name of improvement, do not use the language of criticism. Number one, improvement that one can do, including myself. Never use the language of criticism, even in the name of love, even in the name of improvement, even in the name of goodness. Never use the language of criticism for anybody, because that is reducing the PVF and that is building a very bad karma. So that is number one learning from today's session. Number two learning. Learn to communicate in a proper manner. That is purely the learning the skill of communication. And that's what everybody can do. I'm also learning. Every Sunday morning as I'm talking to you, answering your question, I'm updating myself. I'm learning a lot. I'm doing a lot of research, and every day I'm improving. So that's my strength, that I learn from every possible situation and go on improving, and I'm becoming my better version. Every day I'm improving. So law of karma is functioning all the time, and we have to learn, we have to understand, and that is the only way we can grow. There is no other way. Okay, there is a question from Saraswati Sitaraman. Any communication done lovingly with the expectation of being received well generally fails, because there is a expectation, so it's not loving. When you are loving, there's no expectation, so it's a communication problem. It's not loving. When you are expecting, then it's not loving. Unconditional love means there is no expectation, and if you have expectation, you will fail for sure. That's perfectly fine. But if you do not have any expectation, it creates wonders. Absolutely true. It is said that Happiness is inversely proportional to your expectation. H inversely proportional means 1 upon E. H proportional 1 upon E. So suppose your expectations are 0. 1 upon 0 is infinity. Your happiness is infinity if you have 0 expectation. That is the secret of happiness, Saraswati. If you don't expect anything from anybody, okay, you will have absolute happiness. But that doesn't guarantee the healthy relationship from the other people. That guarantees your happiness, but that doesn't guarantee healthy relationship with other people. As a householder, we must be happy, but we must also ensure that we have healthy relationship with everybody. Then what do you need to do? That's quite a tricky question, right? I have learned not to expect, so I am happy. Great. But are your relationship healthy? Will you consider Krishna's relationship with Duryodhana healthy? From Krishna's side, healthy. From Duryodhana's side, unhealthy. Now, this is exactly what is karma. So, my dear friend, this question is to be asked, have I understood the law of karma? Am I doing something wrong all the time? Am I blaming other people that your perception is wrong, so it is happening? You see, these are the pitfalls of Maya. Under the effect of Maya, you can say that Lord Krishna had a wrong perception. That's what Duryodhana said. वो ग्वाला अपने आप को क्षणा समझता है. That is the language of Duryodhana. He was a Purna Purushottam. He was the ultimate God who came in the human body to save the world from the war. And he himself became the Shanti Dut, the ambassador of peace. He went for negotiations with the two parties. He used all his mighty powers as a god to see that war should not take place. Lord Krishna, Purna Purushottam, using all his wisdom, all his awareness, all his PVF, all his goodness, all his negotiation capacity, all his niti, all he was expert. But you see this habitual critic in Duryodhana, that one pattern of habitual criticism, not understanding the love and care and concern and compassion of Lord Krishna, invited the war, and it is said that almost all the warriors except few people, which you can count on your fingers, they died in Mahabharat war. And it took a pretty long time to revive the culture. And even today, after 5,000 years, we still don't have those kind of warrior culture in India. It is lost with Mahabharat war. Amazing warriors were there, amazing culture was there. It is completely lost after the war because India could not revive in that sense. Okay, so okay, the last question has come now from Arthur Wong. Act of love expressed with expectations are merely transactional and manipulative expression hidden under the label of love. Absolutely true, Arthur Wong. You see, your expectations should be better stated with assertive communication, and you don't have to put those expectations under the garb of love. That's sacrilegious. That one should not do. You love somebody unconditionally, that's great. But from the loved one, if you are expecting something, better sit down, tell them this is what I expect in relationship. You see, for example, your son has become very arrogant. His age is 14 years, 15 years. That is the time where the testosterone starts increasing in the boys. And because the testosterone very rapidly increases, boys cannot handle that hormonal issue and they look like very arrogant to the parents and they behave in an arrogant manner. It's just a passing phase which is hormonal in nature. But you see, that arrogance of a child is not accepted to the parents, not acceptable to the parents. Then you don't have to be goody goody and loving. You said, let's sit down, let's talk over it. What is your issue? This is a passing phase. Your testosterone levels are increasing. That's why you are behaving this way. Learn to handle it. What is the right thing to do? Give him sex education. Give him education about hormones. Tell the right things, how to handle it. And that is the love. Not goody goody love and avoiding the communication. If you really love somebody, sit down, assertively tackle it with firmness. Probably that is the real love, and not that goody goody, the garb of love, that under the garb of love you are expecting the person to improve, but it doesn't work that way. Okay, so we have got 2 more minutes, and last question from Amit from YouTube. When we are joyful or busy with our mission, we have no inclination to indulge in criticism. Absolutely right, Amit. Those who are lucky, those who are blessed by their mission, they go on doing that work and they have no time to look into the criticism. That is what is hathi chal chalo, walk like an elephant. Elephant has got no time or care or concern for who are the dogs who are barking. Elephant just walks with one's own masti, one's own grace, and that's it. So anybody who is doing Guru Karya, okay, will walk like an elephant. वो हाथी चाल चलेगा, and then the criticism does not affect you. All right, so this is a very long topic. I talk on this subject for 16 hours, but today was more for sharing my new research work and giving you the guaranteed insights into the subject, deeper insights into PREM MARG, effect of love, why people experience love or why people don't experience love. So with this, we end this topic of freedom from criticism with the closing note that love is the solutions to all the problems of humanity on planet Earth. Self-criticism locks the doors of self-love. Criticism in general locks the doors of love from that person. So the greatest insight and takeaway from today's topic is not to have self-criticism to the extent that you lock the doors of self-love. Don't beat yourself up. Remember that statement. And if you are expecting love in a particular relationship, then don't criticize that person. Even Purna Purushottama Sri Krishna could not love Duryodhana. It's not the fault of Krishna. It is the fault of karma of Duryodhana. Okay. Once this is understood, then I think there's a greater understanding, there's a higher understanding that will keep on guiding you. Rest of the things are technical nitty-gritty. I have written a small booklet on how to handle criticism, and I have distributed free of cost to 2,000 people. You know why? That is again the law of karma. As a child, I was extremely sensitive to criticism. So I wrote a book on how to handle criticism and distributed to 2,000 people free of cost, just to delete my karma of being sensitive to criticism. This is also one of the way. But then I saw that 80% of my that unwanted sensitivity to criticism went away. 20% remained there. So occasionally I was getting troubled. Then I designed a 2 full-day workshop of how to handle criticism, and the second part of that was how to thrive on criticism. 2 levels of workshop. L1 is how to handle criticism, 2 days workshop. L2, how to thrive on criticism, learning from lions. That was a 1-day workshop. So total 8 into 3, 24 hours I talk on this subject. You know what was the idea? Is to delete my karmas of criticism and criticizing other people for 500 lifetimes. If I have to make this lifetime the last lifetime for me, I have to work in a way that deletes all my past karmas. So one of the law of karma insight is undo the karma and do exactly opposite of what you had been doing. So if you had been critical to somebody and you are suffering the criticism, undo it, be more loving, be more compassionate, teach how to handle criticism, write a book, distribute free of cost, do programs, help others, and that's how you delete your bad karma. Hope that gives a fantastic insight to you, and all of you can use these techniques and come out of criticism perfectly well, and let us all grow the ultimate solution is let us all grow in the dimension of love and compassion, and that is the ultimate solution given by Babaji in the Prem Marg, that love is the ultimate solution. Okay, the only insight is one should not close the doors of love with criticism. There are a lot more insights, lot more subjects. What subject you want, I'll be very happy to receive your suggestions, and any one subject we will select for next Sunday. So all your suggestions are very welcome. Thank you very much. Hope you are enjoying this Freedom Movement show every Sunday morning 10:30 on Zoom.